Hello and welcome back to the King James Bible Sunday School channel on YouTube and Rumble and to our day by day devotional. This year, going through the checkbook of the Bank of Faith by Charles Spurgeon, Prince of Preachers, or the Prince of Preachers. Charles Spurgeon, the checkbook of the Bank of Faith, or Faith's checkbook, as Whitaker House published it, and also Christian Art. But Christian Heritage did some checkbook looking books, and super thin for what it is. It is it's a 300-page book, but thin paging, Bible type paging, and therefore very very thin book. And if you want to get a copy of those, you're certainly welcome to. I've shared the ISBNs and things like that before, um, so check those out. But anyway, uh, November. Today is November the 28th, 2025. November 28th, 2025. And sorry about that. Just look again here. Oh, I just saw a place where I had underlined. That's all. But November 28th, 2025. And the title from Whitaker House is Doing What God Can Bless. Doing What God Can Bless. I had some thoughts about that, but I'm going to hold on to them. Um, yeah, anyway, um, let me let me get this out there. Our daily Bible reading schedules. First, our yearly schedule. And today's reading was going to be First Corinthians chapters 1 through 4. First Corinthians chapters 1 through 4. And then so let me say it the way I normally say it. First Corinthians chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. First Corinthians 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then tomorrow will be 1 Corinthians chapters 5, 6, and 7. 1 Corinthians chapters 5, 6, and 7. That gets us through the Bible in 1 year. And then we have a schedule to get us through the Bible in 6 months. And the reading today is going to be from Jeremiah chapters 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. And 1 Timothy chapters 5 and 6. That's Jeremiah chapters 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23, and 1 Timothy chapters 5 and 6. And that finishes 1 Timothy. And then on tomorrow will be Jeremiah chapters 24, 25, 26, and 27, and 2 Timothy chapters 1 and 2. That's Jeremiah chapters 24, 25, 26, and 27, and Second Timothy chapters 1 and 2. And then we have our 3-month schedule to get through the New Testament. That's the focus, and then an optional Old Testament. And today's reading is going to be Romans chapters 14, 15, and 16. Romans chapters 14, 15, and 16. And of course, that ends the book of Romans. And in the Old Testament, the option is going to be Psalms 53 through 73. Psalms 53 inclusive through 73. And then on tomorrow, the New Testament reading is going to be 1 Corinthians chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 Corinthians chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then in the Psalms, it'll be Psalm 74 through Psalm 91. Psalms 74 through 91. That again gets us through the New Testament in 3 months, and the Old Testament if you're going to do that optionally. And what I mean by optionally, of course, is not that any of this is mandatory, but that my focus is this. I'm looking at getting you through the New Testament if you'll follow it. And if you want to go above and beyond all that, then there you go. All right. Okay, and today's devotional is going to come from the passage Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 8. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 8. The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou settest thine hand unto. One more time. The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee and in thy storehouses, and in all that thou settest thine hand unto. If we obey the Lord our God, he will bless that which he gives us. Riches are no curse when blessed of the Lord. When men have more than they require for their immediate need, and begin to lay up in storehouses the dry rot of covetousness, or the blight of hard-heartedness, is apt to um, follow the accumulation. But with God's blessing, it is not so. Prudence arranges the saving, liberality directs the spending, gratitude maintains consecration, and praise sweetens enjoyment. It is a great mercy to have God's blessing in one's iron safe and on one's banking account. What a favor is made ours by the last clause. The Lord shall bless thee in all that thou settest thine hand unto. We would not put our hand to anything upon which we dare not ask God's blessing. Neither would we go about it without prayer and faith. But what a privilege to be able to look for the Lord's help in every enterprise. Some talk of a lucky man. The blessing of the Lord is better than luck. The patronage of the great is nothing to the favor of God. Self-reliance is all very well, but the Lord's blessing is infinitely more than all the fruit of talent, genius, or tact. All right, that's the reading for today. Okay, it's just a flood of thoughts coming into my mind and things that I'd like to say, stuff about a few days ago and things like that. But I'm going to let it all pass and I'm going to let everything go away from those earlier days. We'll forget those things which are behind. We're getting close to the end of the year, and it's I I hope nobody's out there that fits this description. There's a lot of Christians, though. I mean, I hope there's nobody listening doing this, because I already know there's a lot of people that fit this description. There's a lot of Christians that are like, it's coming up toward the end of the year, and they're saying, "Oh, I started reading the Bible again. And I started going to church, at the beginning of this year. And I started doing this and that for God toward the beginning of the year. I began these different things and a lot of other stuff. And then they're saying, now it's close to the end of the year. And I gave it all up pretty early on. I quit, and I haven't accomplished anything in quite a while. Well, that may be true. Here's a question for you. Are you going to wait more, like another month and a few days? Or are you just going to go ahead and jump in right where you're at and start up right now? Just get going right here from right now where you're at. You'll be amazed at how much you'll get out of just another month, because it is another month. In fact, what it is it is your entire life. Your entire life doesn't start next year. Your entire life is living wherever you're at when you're in it, where it is. Your entire life may include those things that were put into it by the previous part of your life. And it may extend out for some period of time, but you live where you are in the moment. You you may plan for the future, but you can't make a hair white or black. You can't make your stature an inch higher or a cubit taller. You can't change things about you uh, that that have some significance. How much more those things that have extreme significance or great significance. And like I said, you live here. Your time is always ready. It's not waiting for next month, next year, or even next week, or even tomorrow. You live here now. What are you going to do with your life now? What are you going to do, therefore, with your life? Now, I'm not being philosophical and talking about things like that. I'm just saying, you live right now. This is not a question about what are you going to do in 10 minutes. What are you doing now? What are you going to commit to in your life right now? And if you never get to accomplish what you try to commit to, for whatever reason, 5 minutes, everything changes, and 10 minutes doesn't come to pass for you. Whatever you planned for, say, even tomorrow and next week, whatever you planned for later, it's done. 5 minutes gone. What do you say? Where are you going to be? Where are you going to be here right now? As you listen. All right, we'll leave you with that, and the Lord willing, we'll see you again tomorrow for another day by day devotional. Bye.